Welcome back to the homestead. Today is a little warmer out, so what I try to do with the wood burning stove is I go ahead and make our breakfast, have our tea, and then I try to do as much as I can that needs heat. So today I'm going to be making some homemade yogurt, as well as I'm going to make a lip balm. All you're going to need to make the yogurt is some milk. So I'm using raw milk, but if you can get it from the store, then go ahead and get some grass-fed organic full-fat milk. I prefer using the full-fat milk because full fat it's gotten a bad rap over the years. Fat is good because it helps to satisfy you, and then you're not hungry later. And it also helps you to have that fat in it. It helps you to absorb your other vitamins, such as your vitamins A, vitamin D, vitamin E. So if you're not making yogurt, it is so simple, and it's very inexpensive once you do it. All I'm gonna use is a half gallon of milk. I'm gonna pour it in my pan. And if you are buying it from the store, make sure it is your grass-fed, because then you'll get the most out of it. Then I'm going to put it on the stove like medium, low, medium type heat. And I just let it set there. Now I'm using raw milk, and I don't want to destroy a lot of the enzymes in it. So I don't want it to get higher than, I'm gonna go to about 115 degrees, because after that, you're gonna start destroying some of the enzymes, since this is a raw food. But if you're using pasteurized milk from the store, then I would heat it up to about 180 degrees. I don't use a thermometer here because I just kind of know how it feels. Generally for me, it's sort of like when you would give a baby a bottle. Your finger's just kind of very warm to the touch. Then I know it's ready. But you can use a thermometer and it will tell you if you're not sure. The 180 degrees, you'll be spot on with that. That didn't take long. I was just stirring it gently just to make sure. Now, my raw milk that I'm doing is warm to my touch. I'm gonna take it off, but if you are using milk from the store, you wanna get it up to 180 degrees, because that's been pasteurized. So just go ahead and go to the 180 degrees, then you're gonna take it off, and I'm gonna let it set, and I want it to cool. I'm gonna let it cool to about 110 degrees or so, 115 degrees. Just let it kind of cool. This won't take that long to cool because it's already there, but if you are doing it with 180 degrees with your pasteurized milk, you need to make sure it cools to about 110, 115 degrees before you do the next process. I'm gonna need an existing culture to jumpstart my next batch. So usually what I'll do with my yogurt, I use an existing yogurt that I've had, but I just wanted to show you this. If you guys shop at Aldi, they have a great full-fat plain yogurt, organic yogurt, non-GMO, and if you have an Aldi near you, this is really good. So that's why I showed you. So what you're gonna do is, I'm just gonna put a couple dollops, a couple tablespoons in the bottom of my half-gallon jar, just like that. So now I just put my funnel on here, and I'm gonna pour my milk very carefully. I knew that was gonna happen. I pour a little in there, and then I'm gonna gently stir it. When I stir it, I kind of make little X's to kind of blend it in there. I'm gonna fill it up to the top. If you guys are doing this, you can do it in pint-sized jars, quarts. You can do it however you want. I just put mine, because we use a lot of yogurt here, so I put mine in half-gallon jars, but you guys decide whatever you want to use will work. And then I have a little extra milk that my cats will love, a little warm milk for them. And all you do now is put your lid on top, and then I'm gonna wrap a towel around it. Just like this, like a little baby in a blanket. Now, I put mine behind our wood-burning stove, but like when we were living on grid, I used to put mine in our oven. So you don't turn the oven on, you just turn the light on to your oven, and then you set it in there overnight. And then in the morning, you will have yogurt. It's very easy. For me, if you're doing the raw milk and you just heat it to 115 degrees, I let it set for 24 hours. And then I'm putting it back here now, so it's gonna just kind of start going through the fermentation process. with the heat, and you need that heat. So in the oven with the light on is going to help it finish up the last few hours of fermenting, and then here I'm going to let it set behind the stove where it's nice and warm, and it will take about 24 hours. Today is like a little homemaker day. I'm going to go ahead and make some lip balm now. So this is so easy. I'm making my homemade lip balm, which I love. I've been doing it for quite a few years now. You only need some honey, some olive oil, and some beeswax. And if you want to add a little flavoring to it, you can add some essential oils, and I'm gonna go ahead and add some peppermint oil to it. So all you'll need is your beeswax. So this is just regular, unrefined beeswax. And I have found I use a lemon zester. It works great to go ahead and shred it. Just like shredding cheese. So I'm gonna go ahead and grate it, because that way it'll melt so much easier when I put it in the warm water. I'm going to put my lip balm in these little glass containers. They're like little jelly jars, and I'm going to put my beeswax in there, and I'm going to probably fill it, and I'll pack it down a little bit so it's fluffy. I'm going to kind of pack it about a third full, like so. A little note about the beeswax. If you want a softer lip balm, then don't put as much beeswax in it. If you want one that's a little bit more harder, then you can put more in there, okay? So I'm gonna put mine, I like mine a little harder, not so soft. Next I'm gonna put some olive oil in them. Next is a little dash of honey. I put the lids on my little jars, nice and tight. And just remember, on these jars, you guys can use any type of glass jar. These work great because they have a nice tight lid on them. But anything that you have that'll work that's glass. And just like in canning, if you didn't have a wrap, I'm gonna put a cloth at the bottom of my pan. And I filled the water up, there's about this much water in here. And I'm gonna put this in my water, and the water is already warm. And I'm gonna let this set so that it just kind of all melds together for a few minutes. These have been here, I've just let them set about 10 minutes or so and see how it's all dissolved. Just kind of shake it up to get the honey and the olive oil and the beeswax mixed up. And then I'm going to put a few drops of my peppermint essential oil inside now while it cools. I'll just put about 4 or 5 drops of peppermint oil in there. And now I need to hurry up and go visit the honeymooners, Mr. and Mrs. Turkey, out in the barn. So let's go. Maggie, you get to stay on that side of the fence because you haven't met Mrs. Turkey yet. Let's see how they're doing. Hi, Mr. Turkey. Hi, Mrs. Turkey. How have you been? You look like you've had a nice time these past few days together. Now we're going to let you out and you can explore the new farm here, Mrs. Turkey. Welcome. Come on out, Mrs. Turkey. What do you think? The one thing about these bronzes, they do kind of have that iridescent feather that's like a wild turkey. Yeah, she needed some fresh greens. She hasn't had her greens in a couple days. And look at Mr. Turkey. He does not want Maggie messing with his new bride. He's telling her, get away from my bride. Look at him. That's right. You show her who the boss is today. You good girl. No.
No, no, Maggie.
And it's pretty cool to see Mr. Turkey. He has a total new attitude now with his new gal, because before, if Maggie would come out, he would run away. But now he's kind of standing up to her saying, hey, I'm protecting my girl now. So this is pretty neat. Look at him, back and forth, he's pacing. He doesn't want her anywhere near his girl. Come on, Maggie. Come on. Leave them alone. Come on. Let's go. Oh, and did you guys enjoy that flash mob? And did you notice that gate we went through? Well, it's been winter here and I haven't really, thought much about the gate. Well, now it's springtime and everyone's alive and running around, and those chickens, I just caught them in my bed. They destroyed everything. The onion sets were everywhere. I just fixed those and they messed up all my arugula seeds and decided to take a dust bath. The moral of the story is to shut the gate. It is springtime here and we are trying to grow things. Well, it's starting to be a productive day here on the homestead. I'm sure I'll find many other things to do. But have you guys ever made your homemade lip balm or yogurt? Or maybe you want to try it, go for it. It's so rewarding to try to make your own things and know where your ingredients are coming from. And from the time I just went out to see Mr. and Mrs. Turkey and came back inside, look at this, it's ready to go. Put it in my lips. Tastes great. Well, thanks for stopping by the homestead, and let me know what productive things you're gonna get done today. We'll see you later. Bye.